Franklyn Braithwaite, proprietor A&F Sails, Commodore, Antigua Yacht Club, President, Antigua and Barbuda Yachting and Marine Association. My journey into the industry, I'll go as far back as my school days. Now, when I was going to school, those days they'll pick who they will send for common entrance exam. I usually say this quite often, so I encourage the people who don't think they're that successful, so they can know there's really no limits to what you can do. And so after I was denied to go and sit the common entrance exam, I decided at 15, well, that was it for me with school. So I quit school and started working at the apprenticeship with Antigua Sails. I worked there for 6 years, and then eventually we had an offer, myself and my partner that worked along with that Antigua Sails. We had an opportunity to Canadian Fund to open our own business that hit back in 1982. And so we did that, and we grew the business from just the two of us. Today I have 10 employees. A&F Sails, we'll say we're a sail-making company, but outside of sail-making, we do sails, we do covers, we do upholstery. I mean, in short, we say we do everything on the boat that's made from fabric, except for the crew's clothing. Just spin-offs from the industry into the economy, as far as hotels, as far as rent cars, as far as the amount of people that fly in and out of Antigua and Barbuda just for yachting. I use this scenario. If you go to a big hotel complex, you find the gardeners, the maids, the room attendants, the managers. You've got the quite similar position on a yacht, just in a different, because you got the captain, which is the manager. You have the mate, which is the assistant manager, and then you've got stewardess, you've got deck hands, you've got so much position on the boat, apart from the people that works on the boat all the time. Once they get here, you've got all the service industries like myself, sail making, you got electronics, you got painting and varnishing, engineer, carpentry, all that exists in the industry to do that, whatever needs to be done, because quite a part of them expensive things need to be maintained. And so it's also quite a high-end industry. So for someone that gets into the industry, if you're on island and you're basically a carpenter, you can get that extra bit of training. If you work along with somebody who's in the industry, you become a marine carpenter. I mean, suddenly your profit margin has gone up, because you're now not doing just basically carpentry, you're doing marine carpentry, which is another level and needs certain expertise. I mean, there are schools around the world that people can go to, and that's one of the things we're encouraging people to get certified, because in these days it's becoming more often where, especially for electronics and welding and engineering, they're asking for certification. And so even though we've got people in Ireland that are really good and have gotten way over the years of working along, now they'll be asking for certification. So for somebody who's thinking of going to do an engineering course, I'd say, why not do a marine engineering course, or electronics, marine electronics, let's say welding, marine welding, because that is in great demand, not in Antigua here, but not only in Antigua. I mean, you can carry that around the globe. A career like that is actually very, very lucrative. The average pay, I think, for, I'll be very minimal, is actually about $30 or $40 US per hour for quite often. I mean, my shop rate, I'm not sure, my shop rate is $100 US per hour, and minimum charge also, because by the time you looked at the job and you've gone half an hour into it, you're pretty much already into an hour. And that's pretty much about the standard rate quite across most of the industries. My journey in sailing, I think, started when I was about 9 years old. We had a small sailing club in Falmouth where we used to sail quite a lot there. I think we sailed, competed and sailed a lot in Falmouth Harbour. And then I think back in about 84, somebody from the Antigua Yacht Club saw me sailing and decided I could be really good. And so I decided we went and started sailing the Antigua Yacht Club. In 85, I represented Antigua and Martinique. In 86, we were in St. Thomas. In 87, I did some Barbados. In 88, I was in Tortola and Guadeloupe. And I started sailing around representing Antigua everywhere. I did that training everywhere, and then I sailed a lot in St. Martin. In 91, I was in Miami, sailing at the Miami Olympic Regatta. And in 1992, I did the Barcelona Olympics. I think once I realized, I started to set goals in life. Once I realized how good I was, like my ambition was, I must represent Antigua at the Olympics. And so I achieved that in 1992. The next 9-year-old has got a lot more privilege than I have, because with the advent of the National Sailing Academy, as long as you go to school in Antigua and Barbuda, you can go there and learn to sail for free. And what you do there, you get exposed to sailing. You'll understand, realize how good, and quite often a lot of the kids end up racing on some of the yachts in Sailing Week. Not only that, but if you're really good at the National Sailing Academy, we'll take you at the Antigua Yacht Club and teach you to sail, because that is when we teach them more or less to race. And that is when we have young kids representing Antigua quite often around the world. We've had kids in Turkey, in South America. We had a team in South Africa this year, and then we had the Optimist Regatta here this year, where we had some all local guys sailing. They do quite often go to St. Martin and the other places around the region to sail. So there's opportunity for, my short term, for me, sailing is my sport, my pastime, and my occupation. It can be that for you, it can be your sport, it can be just your pastime. It's whatever level. And if you're a competing sailor, unlike other sports, there's no limits to when you can stop competing. Because all you do is, instead of your physical fitness, you just change your boat. Your dinghy sailing, you have to be really fit. And when you get a bit more mature, you can move on to big boats where you can sail until you're 100 if you live that long. I meet people from every part of the world, interact with people. You understand different nationalities, different culture. Financially, it is really rewarding as long as you apply yourself. And you get to, I've been places in the world that had I not been in the industry, I wouldn't have been. Also, as far as with my ABYMA hat on, it is absolutely lucrative and necessary part of tourism for the island. And so I spend, sometimes people say too many hours or countless hours just trying to hammer that away, because I understand the importance of growing the economy of Antigua and Barbuda. And I say, this is home. I love no place like this place. Okay. My advice to someone looking for it could be a career of choice, is like, it might not be cultural or mainstream, but it's absolutely lucrative. And it is something that happens in Antigua and Barbuda. And so I always encourage people to step out of the tradition, experience something new. It's just something new. And I haven't met anybody who has stepped into the yachting industry that has regretted doing it. But I've found some people who regretted they didn't do it earlier. So it is just a career path that should be explored.